cannot stop thinking about someone, when their face appears the moment you close your eyes and their voice echoes in a room where they are not even present. Most people assume this is a one-sided experience. Most people assume the longing is only living in you, but psychology tells us something different, something you may have never been told. You are not alone in this, and you are not imagining what you feel. Right now, beneath the surface of the silence between you, something real is happening in their world too, something they may not even fully understand themselves, something that science and psychology have mapped and documented, the invisible, undeniable effects of a connection that simply refuses to fade. This is not wishful thinking. This is not you holding on to something that is gone. What you are feeling right now as a mirror on the other side. And in this video, we are going to explore 5 things that are quietly happening in their world, because they cannot get you out of their mind. The first thing that happens is that ordinary moments stop being ordinary. There is a moment, maybe they are driving and a song comes on the radio. Maybe they are in the middle of a meal they have eaten 100 times before. Maybe they are walking down a street they know perfectly well, and without any warning, you appear, not in a dramatic way, or not in a way they invited. You simply arrive in their thoughts, completely uninvited, as natural as breathing. Psychology tells us that when 2 people share a deep emotional connection, the brain stores that person in what researchers call intrusive retrieval, the involuntary surfacing of memories tied to high emotional significance. This is not nostalgia. This is not them choosing to think about you. This is your presence literally embedded in their neural pathways, surfacing whether they want it to or not. What this means for you is this: those ordinary moments you are living, your morning coffee, your quiet evening, your drive home, those are the exact moments you are arriving in their world too. You are showing up in their everyday life, in the small, unguarded spaces, the spaces they cannot control. That is not nothing, that is everything. The second thing that happens is that they compare everyone to you, and no one measures up. This is one of the quietest signs, the one that rarely gets spoken out loud, but it is happening constantly. Someone new laughs, and it is not your laugh. Someone new listens, and it is not the way you listened. Someone new reaches out their hand, and the feeling is familiar, but it is missing something. And what it is missing is you. Psychologists who study attachment and emotional bonding describe this as a calibration effect. When a person has experienced a connection of genuine depth, the nervous system unconsciously uses that experience as a measuring stick for all future encounters. This is not a conscious decision, it is biological. Your presence, the specific way you made them feel, becomes the standard their heart keeps returning to, whether they admit it or not. You may feel like you are the one measuring, the one comparing, the one still looking for something that feels like what you had. But here is what psychology shows us. They are doing the same thing. Quietly. Without announcing it. Every new connection reminding them of something only you gave them. The third thing that happens is that they experience something researchers call phantom presence. There are moments, unexplainable, undeniable, where they sense you. Not in a supernatural way, in a deeply human way. They turn their head in a crowd because something felt like your energy. They reach for their phone and stop, because the impulse to contact you is so immediate, it almost surprises them. They wake from a dream and feel a warmth in the room that was not there when they went to sleep. This is phantom presence, and it is one of the most well-documented phenomena in the psychology of deep human connection. When the brain has stored someone as significant, truly significant, not casually significant, that person's presence can be felt even in their absence. The mind is so tuned to the frequency of that person that it picks up signals even when no signal was sent. Right now, at this very moment, you might be sitting in your own life, feeling the ache of distance. But know this, on the other side of that silence, there are moments where you feel real to them, where you feel near, where they feel something they cannot explain, and the only name for it is you. The fourth thing that happens is a deep, quiet restlessness. It does not always look like sadness. In fact, from the outside, they may appear completely fine, going to work, laughing with friends, getting on with things. But beneath the surface, there is a restlessness that will not settle, a background noise they cannot quite turn off, a feeling that something is unfinished, that something has been left unsaid, that the story between you still has pages that were never written. Psychologists describe this as the Zeigarnik effect, the mind's tendency to stay fixated on incomplete experiences. Unresolved emotional connections do not close in the brain the way resolved ones do. They stay open, they stay active, and they create a low, persistent hum of longing that the person often cannot name and cannot locate. They only know it is there. This is why time alone does not erase connection. It is not about willpower or moving on or telling yourself the right things. When the connection was real, the brain marks it as unfinished business, and it keeps returning to it quietly, persistently searching for resolution. They carry that restlessness with them. Now, and in that restlessness, you live. The fifth thing that happens is that they protect the memory of you. Carefully, privately, completely. They may not speak about you. They may have even told themselves and others that they have moved on. But quietly, in the private spaces of their life, they guard the memory of you with care. A photograph they never delete. A place they avoid driving past because it holds something of you. A song that becomes untouchable. A way of saying something you used to say that they keep without ever telling anyone why. This is what the universe does with connections that are not finished. It does not let them be erased. It stores them somewhere sacred and protected, where the world cannot touch them. And in that protected space, you are not a person they once knew. You are a presence they are still holding on to, in the only way they know how, without reaching out. And here is what all 5 of these things mean for you. You deserve to know that what you feel right now is not just coming from you. The longing you carry, the silence you sit with, the moments you reach for your phone and stop. All of this is a conversation happening on both sides. Your heart is not speaking into an empty room. Your worth, the depth of who you are, the love you carry, the way you show up in people's lives, that does not disappear when someone goes quiet. It does not diminish. It lives in them. It shapes them. It becomes the invisible standard they cannot escape, no matter how much time passes. You were never too much. Your feelings were never a burden. The love you gave was not wasted. It became part of who they are, woven into the fabric of their ordinary days, their quiet nights, their unexplained restlessness. You were never the problem. Loving deeply was never your mistake. And whether this connection resolves itself or remains a sacred, a private piece of both your stories, you are not invisible. You have never been invisible. You are exactly the kind of presence that stays. If this resonated with something real in you, hit that like button and join the Psychology Wisdom family. Subscribe so the next insight finds you before you even knew you were searching for it.